At this stage in the game, tempers flare up under pressure. Control is lost. What you least expect to happen can happen, and dreams become reality. Young ambitions jockey for position in emotionally charged confrontations. The heat of battle can be overwhelming. Perspiration threatens to drown aspiration. The Ericsson Open is next. Come join us. It's another one of those Chamber of Commerce days in South Florida. Plenty of blue skies and sunshine. Ideal weather for round number 3 of the Ericsson Open 2001 from the Tennis Center at Crandon Park today. In third round action, it will be Francisco Clavet versus the number 8 seed, Patrick Rafter. It's been beautiful weather since this event began on Wednesday, and today no exception. Temperature right now 27 degrees Celsius. The winds are light, and the forecast for more of the same, sunny skies. Hi, everyone. Bob Nicosi along with Jimmy Arias. So glad you could join us here on ESPN. It's a very busy day in both the men's and women's draws.
And here on the stadium court, number 1 seed Martina Hingis is already through. She's a straight set winner. Serena Williams up next, and then Andre Agassi, the hottest player so far this year. He takes on Germany's David Prinisil. And later on, Gustavo Kuerten, the number 1 seed and number 1 in the world, will take on Thomas Johansson of Sweden. That should be a tough match for Kuerten.
That will be the first match in the evening session on the stadium court. The grandstand, we just saw Tommy Haas finish off Dominic Herbati, and next up will be Francisco Clavet and Patrick Rafter.
And then Mark Philippoussis from Australia as well, going against Roger Federer. That will be a very difficult third round match. Lindsay Davenport after him, and then Carlos Moya, formerly number 1 in the world. He plays against Arnaud Clement, the runner-up at this year's Australian Open.
On court number 1, the number 10 seed Alex Kharachev will take on Jerome Golmar, followed by Elena Dementieva, Russia, who gathered quite a few headlines last week for her opinions on the Williams family out in Indian Wells.
And then Jelena Dokic next, who also has some strong opinions about everything, and Magnus Norman following him, the number 6 seed.
And Anka Huber already a winner today over Natalie Tozia on court 2. Yesterday, in round 3 in the bottom half of the draw, Yevgeny Kafelnikov's frustration continues. He still, Jimmy, has yet to win a tennis Master Series title.
Well, he's never played all that well here, especially at this tennis Master Series title, but you got to give credit to Gaston Gaudio. He lost the first 2 games of the first set, stormed back to win at 6-4, and completely dominated in the second set. Here it's 2-love. Gaudio already up 1 break. And this is how many of the rallies went. They had long baseline rallies, but Gaudio either finished them off with winners, especially on the backhand side, or some unforced errors from Kafelnikov. Either way, it was all Gaudio second set.
Bringing us to match point, and Gaudio converted half of his 8 break opportunities. Kafelnikov was just 1 for 5.
Well, at this point, Kafelnikov almost tanking. Gaudio even admitted it, that it wasn't his best effort.
Gaudio, the only player from Argentina left in the field, and he's through to the round of 16. Beating Kafelnikov is great. I'm very happy and just have to continue playing well in this tournament. We Argentines are playing well on hard courts. It's an important surface for us to win on. The more games we win, the more efficient we'll become. But Kafelnikov was hardly the biggest name to go down yesterday.
No, Pete Sampras, the defending champion, best American player other than Andre Agassi for the last decade. And he went up against a young American, still a teenager, Andy Roddick, and it was Roddick who started off very fast in the tiebreak. Sampras had no chance on Roddick's serve. He was overpowering in the match, winning even 70% of his second serve points. And here is match point. Roddick only lost 2 points on his serve in the entire second set. It was an overpowering display as the youngster took out the greatest champion perhaps of all time, Pete Sampras.
Sampras, the defending champion. Roddick, a wild card entry from right here in South Florida. Beat Marcelo Rios, who won the title here in '98. Then he beat Sampras, and he is through to the round of 16.
sometimes I looked over the net and said, whoa, but I didn't really ask myself if I could beat him. I kept telling myself, believe in yourself, and it paid off.
He really played great. I mean, he was kind of in the zone there for a while and serving big, and the second serve had a lot of pop on it and hardly missed. You know, things really didn't go my way today, and I give him full credit. I mean, he really played great, played with no fear. And but the first set was a big part of the match. You know, if I start serving there in the first couple points of the breaker, and it's not easy, but he played great.
So congratulations to Andy Roddick. Other results from yesterday: the number 14 seed Thomas Enqvist losing to Jan-Michael Gamble.
And Juan Carlos Ferrer, one of the only seeds to actually win his third-round match against Bodan Ularok in straight sets. And Andre Pavel took out the number 15 seed. Another upset. Sebastian Grosjean loses in 3 sets.
Grosjean was the finalist here 2 years ago, losing in the championship match to Richard Krajicek. Leighton Hewitt, the number 7 seed, with an impressive serving performance over Nicholas Lepenti.
Hewitt looked very solid. He's the highest seed left now in that section. The draw, Jonas Bjorkman took out Juan Balcells, who, remember, had beaten Marat Safin earlier in the tournament. Fabrice Santoro took out the Argentine Guillermo Coria.
All that was action in the round of 32 in the bottom half of the draw. Today, it's the third round in the top half. And up next, it will be Francisco Clavet and Patrick Rafter on ESPN.
Experience the wonders of nature with ESPN's Photo Safari. Each week, seasoned guides track down the most elusive and dangerous creatures on Earth, forever capturing them on film. Get creative tips from expert photographers on how to improve your own wildlife shots. It's the thrill of the hunt. Photo Safari, only on ESPN. Italian Serie A football on ESPN. The world plays in Italy all season long. ESPN delivers 2 games weekly from one of the world's top football leagues. The biggest matches, the brightest stars. Italian Serie A football on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Back in Miami for third round action between Francisco Clavet and Patrick Rafter. This day number 6, this very unusual event. Unusual because it's a 12-day event and because it's a 96-man draw. Patrick Rafter looks like he's ready to go to work, Jimmy. He's got the war paint on.
Well, he's 28 years old, and he's saying that this could be his last year. He hasn't officially announced that, but a lot of people are taking it that way. He's having farewell tours at some of the events. He's currently in 5th place in the Champions race, and that's why I don't think he should quit after this year. He's playing very well. In fact, the best start he's ever had. He's never been to the semifinals of the Australian Open before his country's Grand Slam, and yet he did it this year for the first time. And look at that record, 14-4 already on the year. He's had a couple quarterfinal finishes, including last week in Indian Wells.
All but 2 of his 14 wins this year have come on hard courts, as Rafter gets ready for his second match of the week. He, as the number 8 seed, had an opening round bye. Took care of American Bob Bryan in qualifier in straight set 6-2, 6-1 in the second round. Rafter, along with Mark Philippoussis and Leighton Hewitt, the 3 Australians who remain in the field, and Philippoussis will be next up on this grandstand court right after Rafter. His opponent today, Francisco Clavet, one of the old men of the game at age 32.
Well, there's only a couple of these players over 30 still around, and this is one of them, Francisco Clavet, and it's amazing to me that he is still around. He doesn't have a very big game, and he started out as mainly a clay court player. You can see he's 32 years old, from Madrid, Spain, but already this year 16th place in the Champions race, and that is on the strength of some hard court results that he's had this year. He was a runner-up in Auckland, losing to Urbati. Then in Scottsdale, he had an incredible run on hard court, beating Andre Agassi in the first round, Leighton Hewitt in the semifinals, Magnus Norman in the finals. All of a sudden, this old man is looking very solid on hard courts. I'm interested to see what he's doing on the hard court to make him suddenly become a hardcore player. He's a counter puncher. This should make for a nice matchup today against Patrick Rafter. You're going to see a baseliner hitting passing shots, making returns, and Rafter attacking at all times.
Of course, the whole concept of the Champions Race is to force the best players in the world to play all of the Tennis Masters Series events, and perhaps a sign of why that has not happened, or how it has not happened in the past. As we look at the chair umpire Lars Graf, this is Clavet's 14th year on tour. This is Rafter's 11th year on tour. And how in the world have these guys not managed to ever play each other before today?
Well, as you said, before they made the players play the same events, Clavet would have been playing primarily on clay, Rafter primarily on hard court. They just waved to each other at the U.S. Open and Wimbledon. That would be about their only chance to meet.
And since Clavet rarely would get beyond the early rounds at the U.S. Open and Wimbledon, they wouldn't hook up. Here's a look at the draw. The winner of this match, Clavet and Rafter, will take on the winner of a match that will be also played today between Alex Corretja and Jerome Golmar.
And this is a difficult section of the draw. All the seeds really are left without Cedric Pioline, and the 20th seed doesn't really count, but the top half of the draw far tougher than the bottom half at this point.
Dominic Urbati's loss in the first match of the day on this court, the grandstand court, made him the first seeded player in the upper half of the draw to be eliminated. So as we begin this match between Clavet and Rafter, 7 of the 16 seeds have been eliminated, including number 2 Marat Safin, number 4 Pete Sampras, and number 5 Yevgeny Kafelnikov. Later on today, the number 1 seed Gustavo Kirten will be in action. The number 3 seed Andre Agassi will play as well. But Rafter and Clavet are up next in the second match of the day here on the grandstand court at the Tennis Center at Crandon Park, this magnificent facility. And Corretja has won his match over Jerome Golmar in a couple of tie breaks, so he is through to the round of 16 and awaits the winner of Clavet and Rafter.
Well, and they played last week, Corretja and Rafter did, and it was a tremendous match in Indian Wells. That's going to be another difficult matchup, as Corretja is playing very well finally this year. He started the year slowly. In fact, didn't even go to Australia. Not for any injury reasons. He just wanted to rest, Alex Corretja. He did, and that didn't help him have a nice start to the year, as he was rusty in match play, but now he's coming along.
And he has had some success on hard courts in the past. He was a winner a year ago at Indian Wells, defeating Thomas Enqvist in the final. And we also remember a certain U.S. Open when he went deep into the tournament. Pete Sampras certainly remembers it.
Well, that was the famous match that put Corretja on the map, 7-6 in the 5th set. Sampras ended up winning that match, but not before vomiting in the back of the court.
That was basically the day that the world discovered Alex Corretja and admired him for his hard work on the court, something that he has demonstrated throughout his career, as is this man, Patrick Rafter. And Rafter will serve first to Francisco Clavet. It's the round of 32 at the Ericsson Open, the second of 9 Masters Series events on the 2001 ATP calendar.
Well, you're getting a good look at exactly what's going to happen in this match. You're going to see a lot of good low returns from Clavet. He's very competent at that, and Rafter's going to have to volley well today. Let's just serve aces. And Rafter's not a guy that serves a lot of aces. He's got a heavy serve. Although that ace total has gone up in the last year. He used to serve primarily kick serves, and now he's hitting a hard slice. He's added that to his game. Doesn't really have the pure power of some of the bigger servers. But if you can hit aces on your second serve, you're in a pretty heavy serve.
Rafter, of course, has experienced chronic shoulder problems in recent years. One which forced him to retire late in the match at the U.S. Open 2 years ago.
When he was two-time defending champion, he was playing Cedric Pioline.
Another big serve down the middle. Sets up that point. 40-15 Rafter. So Rafter with a very strong service game to hold to begin the match.
And now it's up to Clavet to see if he can keep Rafter at the baseline. Clavet also not a big server, but he has the advantage of being lefty, and in the ad court he can swing that lefty serve out wide. Be tough for Rafter to attack on that if he gets the first serve in.
Clavet also had an opening round bye, and then in the second round defeated Alberto Martin of Spain, 6-love, 6-7, 6-3 to reach the round of 32. So this is the format of this event is such that here are these players in the top half of the draw. This is day 6 of the tournament. They've only played one match.
There's the problem for Clavet. You can see Rafter ready to attack the second serve. Clavet doesn't have a lot of pace on his second serve. He's going to have to serve out wide. He hit that serve right down the center of the box. That gave Rafter a nice angle to come to net on. You want your opponent to be approaching if he's going to come to net from outside of the court, so you have some room to pass.
Clavet celebrated his 32nd birthday last October 24th.
You can see Clavet is just a scrambler. He can't really do a lot with the ball. He likes to run around his backhand, hit forehands. He doesn't put them away. He just hits them heavy and deep and hopes you miss. And Rafter should have made that volley.
Clavet has won 8 singles titles in his career, including the one earlier this year in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he holds, and he are 1-all in the first set.
Clavet has played well here before at this Tennis Masters Series event. He was a semi-finalist in '99 and actually lost to Sebastian Grosjean in 3 sets.
Grosjean went on to lose the final to Richard Krajicek. He defeated Christian Ruud, Kenneth Carlson, Vincent Spadia, and Nicholas Kiefer before losing to Grosjean in the finals 2 years ago. But that was the only time in his 9 previous appearances here in Miami that he has been able to get beyond this round, the round of 32. Second point Clavet has won so far on Rafter's serve in the match.
What Clavet does well is he puts the ball in play. That's what he's good at. He makes you win the points. This passing shot, not a brilliant passing shot. It was far too high. But he makes sure it's going in.
Rafter with the service winner. Getting that first serve in, something he has done 65% of the time this year. He is 5th best on the ATP Tour in that category.
You can see his serve only 101 miles an hour. It's not the speed of Rafter's serve. It's the placement.
Placement was pretty good on that one, wasn't it? Patrick Rafter holds serve. We are on serve. It's 2 on Rafter in the first.
ESPN goes spanning the globe in April to bring you the world of sports. The Kart FedEx Championship season hits high gear with the finest drivers in the world bringing the thrills home. The top clubs of European football begin the quarterfinal round as the UEFA Champions League continues. The great athletes of the NBA open the playoffs when the drive to the championship begins. The 2001 Major League Baseball season gets underway from the beautiful ballparks of North America. The ATP Masters Series continues from Monte Carlo. The Ice Wars rage on as the NHL heads into the playoffs in the quest for the Stanley Cup. The great clubs of Italy battle for the Scudetto in the Italian Serie A. The legends of golf compete in the Senior PGA with great tournament action. Great action this April on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
I can still feel his hooks in my ribs and taste the leather from his uppercuts. So why should I get out of the corner? Because I'd gladly take another 3 minutes of pain for a shot at the title. Wouldn't you?
ESPN's Friday Night Fights. Lightweight Lamar Murphy faces his challenger Efrain Hinojosa in a 12-round bout. Friday on ESPN.
It's day number 6 at the Ericsson Open. Patrick Rafter has just held serve. He leads Francisco Clavet 2-1 in their 3rd round match. So far, no break opportunities for either player. The winner of this event will take home $444,000 and 100 points in the ATP Champions race. Final this Sunday.
Rafter doesn't need to lose his patience in the baseline rallies like you just saw. He went for a clean winner backhand. Be better served, hitting a lot of slice backhands, getting the ball in play, waiting for a short ball. As I said, Clavet's not going to hit winners. So that's the way Rafter needs to play. He needs to attack the net. Not a lot of pressure on him once the baseline rally starts.
Serena Williams, 6-love in the first set over Kim Clijsters in the stadium in their rematch of last weekend's final at Indian Wells. Williams family remaining in the headlines, Jimmy, with accusations from Richard Williams that he heard racial epithets while walking through the stands at Indian Wells last week when the crowd was booing his daughter Serena as a response to Venus pulling out of their semifinal match because of a knee injury.
Well, he certainly heard the boos. We all heard those.
Was a winner last night on the stadium.
Well, he also claims he doesn't fix the matches between the girls and that Venus was really injured. Although she's made a miraculous recovery this week.
Said Florida Sunshine.
Yeah. Again, going for a clean winner from the baseline, Rafter. No reason for him to do that. That's just an unforced error and not the right play mentally either. He needs to keep the balls in play. Clavet will give you a short ball eventually, especially with his backhand.
Clavet holds, and it is 2-all in the first set. The winner meets Alex Correia in the round of 16. The entire round of 16 will be played tomorrow. So we have reached the stage of the tournament where the next time someone will get a day off will either be when they're eliminated or on Saturday. There is a day between the men's semifinals and the men's final. The women's final will be played Saturday.
That's Patrick Rafter at his best. He's one of the few serve and volleyers left. It's a pure serve and volleyer on the tour today. He doesn't win with just a big serve. He has to follow it up with solid volleys, and he can hit a very firm volley or what you just saw, a nice little drop volley as well.
Rafter turned 28 years old last December 28th. Now makes his home on Bermuda. Island of Bermuda. It's his 11th year on the tour.
One thing we've always seen from Clavet, as long as he's been out here, he gives 100% in every match that he plays. He's not the most gifted athlete or player out here, but boy, he certainly gives 100% mentally in every match. 8-2, Rafter leading in winners, and you're going to see that gap widen as this match goes on, I would suspect. Oh. I'd like to blame the sun on that overhead because that was a pitiful effort from Rafter. This ball from Clavet showing you why he tries for everything. You never know when your opponent's going to miss. This is just a sitter, routine overhead. And Rafter mishitting, and that's what causes the ball to spin out of control.
14-30.
Rafter's best finish this year, the semifinals at the Australian Open, which of course is the one tournament he would like to win above all others. Already has won a couple of U.S. Opens.
Well, and he led in that semifinal against Andre Agassi 2-1 and began to cramp up early in the fourth set. He's had some difficulties cramping his last couple of big matches. In Davis Cup as well, it happened to him in the Davis Cup final against Spain.
First double fall of the match. Rafter did reach the finals at Wimbledon last year, losing to Pete Sampras in the match that kept starting and stopping and starting and stopping with the rain.
There's a look at the classic serve and volley again from Rafter. Look at how close to the net he's able to get after his serve. Contrast that with Pete Sampras. You see him serving and volleying, but he's behind the service line for his first volley.
And finishes it off with an ace down the middle. Rafter has won 87% of his service games this year. He's 6th best on tour, and he's a perfect 3 for 3 today.
perfect round of golf.
At 32 years old, I pay a little more careful attention to my training, how I treat my physical self and get in shape. All the things that I may not have worried about as a younger player, I do now. You have to take better care of yourself. Well, when you're 32 years old and you're still playing on this tour, he must be doing something right in the area of self-care.
No doubt about it. He's in tremendous shape. And as I said earlier, it's all mental at this point. There's no reason why your body can't continue to play at a high level until you're mid to late 30s even. But mentally, it's difficult.
First of Clavet's 8 titles came way back in 1990 at Hilversum over Eduardo Masso. Then it took him 5 years before he won his second title in Palermo over Jordi Barrio. Won another tournament in '96 in Amsterdam in the finals, defeating Yunus Elanawi. Won 2 of them in '97 in Mexico City, beating Juan Albert Veloca, and in Bogota, defeating Nicolas Lepenti. Then 2 more in '98 in Bucharest over Arnaud Di Pascal, and in Santiago over Yunus Elanawi again.
Well, that's what makes this year strange for Clavet, is those tournaments you were mentioning, clay court tournaments. He was a clay court player, and suddenly this year, all his results coming on hard court. He did well in Auckland, a runner-up there, and winning in Scottsdale, as I mentioned, but he did play in South America on clay and lost first or second round of every event, 3 in a row. Only won 1 match, as a matter of fact. That's the exact point Rafter has to play all match long. What you just saw, he'll have an opportunity to do in virtually every point. Keep the ground strokes in play. You get a shot like this, chip and charge. Take your chances. I like Rafter's chances if he sees a volley like that on every point. Let's see, he's only winning 67% of the points coming in, but that's not a bad percentage. You continue to win at that clip. If you keep coming in, it's your match.
Nicely done.
Rafter doesn't need, however, to come in behind that drop shot. He's tried that a couple of times. Clavet is a crafty player. He's going to know how to handle those little drop shots. That's clay quarter specialty. Dealing with angles and short balls, and Clavet adept at that.
Rafter sort of fouled that one off, didn't he?
Well, when Rafter's game goes, it's usually the forehand side that he makes the errors on once they're in a baseline rally. It's a very inconsistent side. If he's hitting it well, he's got no weaknesses.
It's a courtesy of the players. Please turn off your mobile telephones.
Well, and that's what happened. That's why he missed the forehand so badly. A phone must have gone off on poor Rafter. He couldn't concentrate. This is called the Ericsson, isn't it?
Well, I can only presume it was an Ericsson phone. They'd probably confiscate any other kind. It's a beautiful day throughout Florida today. The northern part of the state in Jacksonville. The Players Championship, dubbed the 5th major on the American PGA Tour, was concluded following rain delayed round yesterday. But young fellow Tiger Woods earned some more spending money. Keep him going for another week.
He's made a nice comeback after such a slow start for him this year.
It's the first time that Tiger Woods has won the prestigious Players Championship.
And again, Clavet making Rafter play. That is Clavet's specialty. His passing shot not as good as it could have been. The court was open for him. Clavet not able to handle the defensive lob.
Two of those 4 Rafter aces came in the first game of the match. In fact, the second and third points of the match. Rafter has won 10 titles in his career. The first back in 1994 in Manchester. He made the second title of his career a big one. The U.S. Open in '97 over Greg Rusetsky.
Again, the classic serve and volley. As soon as that return is up high, he gets so close to the net. It's a big difference in his serve and volley style than some of the other guys that you see nowadays. He's having trouble making volleys today that for him are routine volleys. Rafter's so athletic up at the net. He loves to dive around. He's very difficult to pass. He's had his racket on a lot of these volleys. This is a ball he normally puts in. Clavet, like on clay, pointing to the mark, but unfortunately for him, they're not going to come out and check it. They're not allowed to check the marks on hard court.
Beautiful angle on the Clavet return.
Clavet, a very good counter puncher. Doesn't have the pace of his own, especially on the backhand side, but look at him flick the wrist. Great control on that backhand. 13-5. Good heavy second serve again. Competent return, but really a routine volley for Rafter. The whole court was open for him.
Well, we've had 7 games and we've had 7 service holds so far in the round of 32 at the Ericsson Open.
ESPN presents A Moment with Kinesia. The Scottish League is challenging. There's a lot of physical contact. Maybe there's less technical emphasis, but they run hard and are very aggressive. It's not easy. I'm still getting to know all my teammates. It's difficult because I haven't played much. We had only 1 or 2 practices together. But the important thing for me is to get into the rhythm of the game because it's been almost 3 months since I've played.
Hope you can join us later today here on ESPN as we continue our coverage of the men's 3rd round from the Ericsson Open. The #1 seed, Gustavo Kuerten, will be Thomas Johansson. That will be the first match in the evening session on the stadium court, and we'll have it for you right here on ESPN. This is the 2nd match of the day on the grandstand court, and we are on serve Patrick Rafter and Francisco Clavet. Clavet serving at 3-4 in game 8.
15.
It's amazing. It's almost as if Clavet brings his opponents down to his level. He doesn't have the power. That was nothing on that serve.
Rafter had quite a year in 1996, winning 6 tournaments: Chennai, Hertogenbosch, Toronto, his first Masters Series title, Cincinnati, another Masters Series title, Long Island, warm-up to the U.S. Open, and then he made it 2 straight U.S. Opens, beating his countryman Mark Philippoussis in the final.
13-15.
That is not something you'll see often. Francisco Clavet throwing in a double fault. He doesn't give away those freebies normally. He's already hit 2 in this match. In general, Clavet just a very solid, consistent player that you have to beat. Ways that can help you win a match. A little bit of luck for Rafter. Double fault that you normally don't see from Clavet, and then that forehand that hit the top of the net and rolled over.
Rafter takes advantage of those fortuitous circumstances, and all of a sudden he has the first break point in the match.
Well, and he had to scramble on this baseline rally. Clavet played the kind of point he loves to play, just controlling the point from his forehand side, running Rafter side to side. But again, he just doesn't have the put-away power, Clavet.
Rafter is 9th on tour when it comes to converting break points. He's converted 49% of them this year, and he's 1 for 1 today. Now he serves for the set, up 5-3.
This so often happens, a good break, and Rafter capitalizes. Didn't look like he was going to play a good game. So you see Serena Williams now just a game away from beating Kim Clijsters badly in their rematch. Elena Dementieva beating Sanchez Vicario 4-1 in the first set.
We saw Kim Clijsters in the stadium court last night watching her friend Leighton Hewitt play. Second double fall of the match for Rafter.
5 aces to 0 for Clavet, but they're even in double fault. Boy, Rafter's made some bad volleys today for him. Such a solid volleyer normally. Only winning 59% of the points now up at the net. Clavet 83%, but he's only been there a handful of times.
This is the first love 30 hole of the match for Rafter.
That was a big chance for Clavet. Second serve, love 30. Rafter's missed a volley, double faulted to give him this love 30. Clavet gets aggressive with the return, just wide.
Rafter follows it up with ace number 6.
The problem when you're playing a good server, you can't let him get away with tough times. When he had love 30, Serena Williams finishing off Kim Clijsters. Another second serve, and this time Clavet better make sure he at least gets the ball down low. Give himself a chance. Rafter can't hit an overhead. It's unbelievable. A great half volley set the point up for Rafter, but then 2 overheads in a row that he hit near the bottom of his racket.
Nevertheless, it brings us to our first set point. Clavet thought one of those Rafter returns, I believe, was out. One back in the corner.
That's a great return. No reason for Rafter to be picking on the forehand side of Clavet. He has a tremendous forehand. A lot of control on that side. He can hit it hard or flip it low with topspin. This was a combination of those two. Clavet just had to wait for Rafter to guess one side or the other. Good wide serve here. Serve and volley is all Rafter would need. Almost. Good return from Clavet.
And all of a sudden, Clavet saves his set point and now has his first break opportunity of the match.
Clavet didn't have to make it that good because for whatever reason, Rafter can't hit an overhead on the strings today. So a lob that was in would have probably done the job. And again, this volley, just not as solid of a volley that you normally see from Rafter. Didn't penetrate through the court at all. Sat there for Clavet. Clavet made a bad error. So it's the second set point for Rafter here in game number 9. This time he doesn't miss. His 7th ace of the match. Not yet. Hang on, guys. That serve was called out first, but overruled by Lars Graf. Linesman called it out.
Well, Rafter thought he nailed it because he started walking off the court as soon as he hit it. He wins the first set, 6-3.
The Great Eight are set for the run to Europe's top prize, the UEFA Champions League crown. And once again, 3 of the top clubs of Spain are in the hunt. The UEFA Champions League quarterfinal round, beginning on April 4th. Follow the Elite 8 clubs to the summit of European football on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Fulfilling their prophecy, they became champions. Now, with the bullseye squarely on their back, the Lakers must fight off all who aim to dethrone them. And with the perfect balance of power and grace, will defend their title and inch closer to their goal, a new Laker dynasty.
A look at the Eddie Rickenbacker Causeway in the background, which takes you from downtown Miami to the tennis center at Crandon Park in Key Biscayne. For the 8th consecutive year, this magnificent complex is the host of this stop on tour. For the 2nd year under the sponsorship of Ericsson. It's the Ericsson Open, and Patrick Rafter has just taken the first set from Francisco Clavet, 6-3.
Great slice from Clavet. That's an added twist to his game that he didn't have a few years ago. He's always had the consistent ground strokes, but taking that short ball early and really knifing the slice approach. Cleaning things up with the easy volley. What do you think? Tough to tell from that angle.
I'm sure Lars Groff didn't have a real good view from the chair.
Well, it was a tough first set for Rafter. They had a lot of long games, tough games. He was able to squeak out a 6-3 win, and Rafter didn't play that well in the first set for him, so it's a bad sign for Clavet if Rafter can raise the level of his game. I'm not sure Clavet can raise it with him.
Rafter's last title, his only title a year ago, came at Hertogenbosch, defeating Nicolas Escudé in the final. That was the 3rd straight year he won that event. Also won it in '99, beating Andre Pavel in the final. Clavet with an easy hold to begin the 2nd set.
First game, 2nd set.
The winner of this match will get the number 10 seed Alex Corretja. In the round of 16, Corretja and Tommy Haas, the first 2 in the top half of the draw to advance into the round of 16 with wins today. 8 singles matches today. Each one of those matches including a player who is among the 16 seeds here. And one of them, Dominic Urbati, has already lost. He went down to Haas in 3 sets.
Well, we've seen a lot of this in the match so far. Just big serves, not pace-wise, but they kick up so high. The players struggle with that. That's probably what's given his shoulder problems. It's not easy to hit hard spin serves. There it is again. He jams Clavet. Rafter loves to serve to the body. Players even think about serving there. They go for aces nowadays. Rafter's shown you he's got a pretty good vertical leap if he wants. Rafter's missed a lot of those type of volleys, half volleys. Difficult volleys, grant you, but not shots that he normally misses. He normally gets those balls at least back in play. You have to hit tremendous ground strokes to pass him normally.
Rafter holds. He's done that every time today. Now 6 for 6 in service games. And we are 1-all in the second set. A year ago, besides losing in the finals at Wimbledon to Pete Sampras, Rafter also was a finalist in Lyon, losing to Arnaud Clément. That was the 11th time in his career that he was a runner-up to go along with his 10 titles.
Beautiful pass from Clavet, but again, this is what Rafter needs to do when he has shots like that. Go ahead and test Clavet's passing shots. That's the one good thing about Rafter. He'll get past 25 times in a row, but he'll keep coming in. Doesn't scare him off. Keeps the pressure on, and that wears your opponent down in the later stages of a set. Great stuff from Clavet, however, these first 2 points. 2 good passing shots. That's more difficult to do when it's 4-all as opposed to 1-all.
Well, you can't match Rafter's power, that's for sure. So Clavet trying to reach into his arsenal for what works best.
13-15.
Hey, Rafter's made some bad errors. That's a no-brainer, that ball. He's just trying to slice it back in play. He should make 100 of those in a row.
Clavet holds, and we are on serve here in the second set. It is 2-1 Clavet. The 3rd round in Miami.
Cup qualifying football on ESPN continues with more great European matchups. Tomorrow, Cyprus versus the Republic of Ireland.
It's opening day in sunny Puerto Rico, but the sun won't be the only thing shining. Baseball's brightest superstar makes his debut. A-Rod swings with the Texas Rangers as they take on Carlos Delgado and the Blue Jays. Texas-Toronto Monday on ESPN.
It's day 6 of the Ericsson Open, the second of 4 hard court events among the 9 Tennis Masters Series events on the 2001 calendar. The first one was last week at Indian Wells with Andre Agassi beating Pete Sampras in the finals in the 30th meeting between those two legends. Sampras already gone this week. Agassi will play later today. Patrick Rafter is serving at 1-2 second set to Francisco Clavet. Rafter won the first set 6-3. Elena Dementieva leading Arantxa Sanchez Vicaria 6-1-1 love.
15.
Of course, this is one of the few events other than the 4 Grand Slams where the men and the women play at the same site at the same time.
15.
How can Rafter continue to miss those type of volleys? It's amazing to me that he's winning this match. That's the second time in this game. Same play. It's a good play. Out wide. The whole court's open. Put it in. Yay. As I said before, the good news for Rafter is he doesn't get scared from coming to the net. He just keeps on striving, keeps on coming forward. You can see not really doing a great job today. Only 57% of the time he's winning the point.
Great quickness by Clavet.
Well, Rafter is accustomed to hitting a clean winner when he hits a drop volley this well. But Clavet not only showing you speed, but look at the last second flick of the wrist. There was almost no angle at all there. Had to be perfect, and it was.
Giving him a break point, his second of the match. This time Clavet converts it, and he's up a break, leading 3-1 in the third set.
It's almost as if Rafter's just not seeing the ball well. He mishit that volley. Mishit that volley. Just not a solid day so far for Rafter. And Clavet is a guy that you have to beat. He's taking advantage of it now. And that is something Clavet needs to do in this match. He needs to take the pressure off himself by beating Rafter up to the net. He's shown you that he can make volleys. One of the few times Rafter got away with a drop shot. Clavet's been doing a good job when he has to chase down some pretty good drop shots from Rafter, but he's made nice shots off of them. Rafter just can't seem to hit a volley on the strings.
Look at resignation on his face.
Well, he worked very hard in that point. Those were the kind of points I expected him to play in this match. He's a guy that is physical from the baseline. He runs down a lot of shots. And I knew eventually he'd get a short ball that he could approach on. He did everything right that point except make the volley.
Rafter, number 5 in the champions race this year. His tour entry position is number 8. He was ranked number 1 in the world back in July of '99. An easy hold for Francisco Clavet. He's up a break, leading 4-1 in the second set, the Ericsson Open.
Back in the corner. Back and pulls away from his check. Spins one way, goes the other. Over the goals by just seconds. Your arm or your stick as long as you get the puck first. Here we go. Laid up high on the glass. Lindman could not hold it in. Here is Draper. He's got Shanahan. 2-on-1 here. Draper to Shanahan. Score! Patrick. Well, look at that smile, folks.
Well, at 32 years old, I have to adapt my game a little because of age. I still try to put my all into every match and do my best. At this age, my perspective is different. Now I know I don't have too many years left at this point in my tennis career, so I try to have a little more fun and pay attention to different aspects on tour. I enjoy coming to this tournament and playing tennis, but I try to have fun outside the tournament as well. Well, Francisco Clavet having some fun in this set. Up 4-1, up a break after losing the first set from Patrick Rafter.
Well, I like his attitude. He's not going to regret not enjoying the tour once he's finished. Players stay so focused on the tennis, you miss everything when you're traveling around to the different places.
Last year, he was the second oldest player to finish in the top 50, second only to 35-year-old Gianluca Pazzi. Pazzi was the oldest player in the draw this week, but he's gone.
Well, he's the oldest player in the draw every week, it seems. Pazzi played well here. He won a round and lost to Karecha in 3 sets.
Well, that didn't take long.
Quite frankly, that's what I expect to see in this match, a little more of. I would think Rafter shouldn't have a lot of trouble holding serve, but he has. He's missed a lot of volleys. He's given away free points. Clavet has been there to take advantage. We'll see if Clavet can hold serve 2 times more. Push this match into a 3rd set, and if anything, Clavet's a guy who's in better shape than Rafter, even though he's 4 years older. He's not going to get tired.
15.
I tell you, Rafter's holding his temper well, because I would be throwing my racket around by now if I kept missing the kind of shots he's missing that for him are routine. That's another routine slice approach. Finds the tape. The only time he broke Clavet in this match, it was really lucky that he got the break done. It was a let cord winner that set it up for him. Ball that hit the top of the net and rolled over.
That was back in game 8 of the first set.
Rafter's normally reliable backhand has been anything but that today until this shot. He'd rather be hitting passing shots on the backhand side.
An easy hold for Clavet, and he remains up a break here in the second set.
Experience the wonders of nature with ESPN's Photo Safari. Each week, seasoned guides track down the most elusive and dangerous creatures on Earth, forever capturing them on film. Get creative tips from expert photographers on how to improve your own wildlife shots. It's the thrill of the hunt. Photo Safari, only on ESPN. Italian Serie A football on ESPN. The world plays in Italy all season long. ESPN delivers 2 games weekly from one of the world's top football leagues. The biggest matches, the brightest stars. Italian Serie A football on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Seven of the 16 seeds have already gone home here at the Ericsson Open. The number 1 seed, Gustavo Kirt, will play his 3rd round match tonight. Marat Safin went out in the 2nd round. So did Pete Sampras, losing yesterday to wildcard entry Andy Roddick. Yevgeny Kafelnikov, a loser yesterday in the 3rd round. Tim Henman, a 2nd round loser. Alex Correia already won his 3rd round match earlier today. Clement will play today. Ferrero is through to the round of 16, and Dominic Urbati was a loser earlier today to Tommy Haas. 15 love, Rafter serving to try to stay in the 2nd set.
30.
Since Rafter lost serve a couple of games ago, he's become pretty solid on his own serve the last 2 games. Holding with ease.
Certainly controlling the ace department, to no one's surprise.
It's amazing to me because Clavet relies on you losing to him. He puts the ball in and he hits enough good low shots that he expects you to miss more than you put away. If you play well, you should be able to beat Francisco Clavet.
So now Clavet will serve for the second set, up a break at 5-3. Andre Agassi, the number 3 seed, is leading 2-1 and already up a break over David Prinisil. That's in the stadium.
That's Clavet at his best. When he has a chance, he likes to run around his backhand. He can do a lot of things with his forehand from his backhand corner. We just saw a nice inside-out angle that set up that point.
Points from the set. Clavet was taken to a third set in his only other match at this event. Alberto Martin won a second set tiebreak from Clavet before Clavet won 6-3 in the third.
Well, there's the first good volley we've seen from Rafter in a while when he had to dig one up. A difficult angled passing shot he had to deal with there, and he finally just put the ball back in the court deep. Tremendous topspin lob from Rafter. Very well disguised. That looked just like his normal backhand. Clavet just hoping it would be a little further.
And now it's set point for Clavet.
Amazing, because that serve was well under 100 miles an hour from the look of it. Rafter just trying to chip it back in play, and he can't do it. So many silly errors.
And we head for third set in the round of 32 at the Ericsson Open.
On their offense, they're going to get into Greg Stevens' hands or dump it down low to the big fella.
Myers out there on the rear steal by Tony Stanley. You see it coming. Good night, sir.
Great steal by Coleman on the other end.
Here's another look. Right into your home.
ESPN swings into the month of March in grand style. With glorious greetings to great golf. Get ready as the green gets geared up and pros polish their putters. Because March means drag out your drivers. Boogie down with bogeys and birdies. Whatever you do, be prepared for plenty of pro golf. Jam-packed in March. Where? Only where the slice still swings. ESPN.
We certainly hope you will join us later tonight for Sports Center here on ESPN. Another recap of all of the happenings in the world of sports. It's our daily Sports Center show. Certainly tell you about what's going on at the Ericsson Open. No doubt a word or two about Tiger Woods winning the Players' Championship on the PGA Tour. That's on Sports Center later today on ESPN. So we go to a third set in this third round match between the number 8 seed Patrick Rafter and Francisco Clavet. Rafter serves to begin.
Picks up right where he left off, missing routine volleys for him. It's an amazing thing that Francisco Clavet can do to a player. He brings you right down a couple of levels.
Big service winner, 30-15 lead. Clavet's 16th in the champions race, tour entry position of 29. Last week in Indian Wells, losing in the second round to Yevgeny Kafelnikov.
That's a good example of how much spin is on the Rafter serve as Clavet swung and whiffed on the return. He was there. The ball just bounced a little further out to the side than he expected.
14-30.
Rafter's looking like me up at the net today. Just can't make a volley. That was, again, a routine volley for him.
Like you today or like you?
My whole career, unfortunately.
Vintage. So Rafter holds to begin the third set. The winner of this one will meet Alex Corretja in the round of 16. Corretja, a winner earlier today over Jerome Golmar of France. Also earlier today, Tommy Haas knocked off 13-seeded Dominic Urbati. Andre Agassi up a service break in the first set of his match in the stadium with David Prinisil. Next match on this court will be 16th-seeded Mark Philippoussis, Rafter's countrymate, and Roger Federer.
Well, this half of the draw that's playing today still has Gustavo Kuerten alive. It has Philippoussis. It has this man Rafter, Agassi. Bottom half has been decimated. Really the only named player left is Leighton Hewitt in the bottom half of the draw.
Only 2 seats left at the bottom.
Juan Carlos Ferrero and Leighton Hewitt.
Hewitt will meet Fabrice Santoro in the round of 16 tomorrow, while Ferrero will take on Argentina's Gaston Gaudio.
That's a Patrick Rafter volley, what you just saw there. Using his athletic ability up at the net. It's almost as if he does a better job volleying when he's in trouble. Because this was a good passing shot from Clavet. Rafter on the full stretch just flicks his wrist. He's one of the few guys that hits his stretch volley and actually hits up on it. It's almost like it has a little topspin. That's the problem for Rafter. He can't make the routine volley. It's incredible. You can see by the look on his face, I'm amazed that he hasn't at least yelled out once or twice.
Not part of his normal persona. Unlike his mate, Leighton Hewitt, who seldom holds back his emotions. Hewitt was brilliant on his own serve last night in his match with Nicholas Lepenti.
He's the heavy favorite on form and by the names left in the bottom half of the draw to get to the finals here. I know he's a long way to go for him, but he played very well yesterday.
Clavet, a winner earlier this year at Scottsdale, a runner-up in Auckland. Lost to Dominic Urbati in the finals there.
Well, Clavet's win at Scottsdale is impressive because of the players he beat. Andre Agassi, who's only lost 2 matches this year, one of them was to Francisco Clavet in the first round in Scottsdale, and then Leighton Hewitt in the semifinals in straight sets, Magnus Norman in the finals. He beat 3 top 10 players to win that title.
Lars Graf in the chair. This is Rafter's 5th tournament of the year. Clavet with the hold. And we're 1-1 in the 3rd set. Andre Agassi easily taking the first set from David Prinisil in the stadium. Elena Dementieva about to close out Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
Well, Agassi wasn't kidding when he says he's seeing the ball well this week. He played Taylor Dent, a young American, in his first match. Dent is a man who served 142-mile-an-hour serve this week and against Agassi, and Agassi still won the match 6-4, 6-2, and said, Dent played as well as anybody against me. I'm just picking the ball up very well this week.
Agassi and Gustavo Kuerten, the only 2-time winners on tour thus far this year. And Agassi has won the 2 most important events that have been played so far, the Australian Open and the first Masters Series event last week at Indian Wells.
Rafter gets shaking his head because he can't get anything on the volley. He's all tangled up when he gets to the net. And this time, his poor volley tangled Clavet up, who had plenty of time to wait and try the behind the back. That's not really a high percentage shot.
Rafter holds serve at love. It's the 2nd time he's done that in his last 3 service games. 2-1 in the 3rd.
ESPN presents a moment with Maradona. When one plays football, it's the glory of winning. That's what you're looking for. Because when you're in a final of a championship game and you have the option of 10 million or simply to play, you say forget about the 10 million. What I want is to play. I want to run. I want the ball. I struggled for that, to be right here, right now. I want the glory. That's what I'm hungry for, nothing else.
I can still feel his hooks in my ribs and taste the leather from his uppercuts. So why should I get out of the corner? Because I'd gladly take another 3 minutes of pain for a shot at a title. Wouldn't you?
ESPN's Friday Night Fights. Lightweight Lamar Murphy faces his challenger Efrain Hinojosa in a 12-round bout. Friday on ESPN.
Patrick Rafter coming off an impressive, powerful service game, holding serve at love, but we are on serve in the third set. Francisco Clavet to serve at 1-2.
He hit an overhead sort of on the string drafted, but you could see that he took a lot of pace off the overhead. He has made a lot of silly errors today, and he didn't want to make the same mistake this first point of the fourth game as he saw Clavet sprinting to the open court.
Suddenly the door ajar.
Well, again, a very un-Clavet-like error. He's a guy that doesn't give you any free points. He played this point exactly the way he wanted, got a nice defensive lob, and this is a shot that the pros nowadays, with the wood racket, you'd sometimes see an error on the overhead, but almost never do you see it with these bigger rackets.
Triple break point for Patrick Rafter, who's only had one break opportunity in the entire match, and he converted back in game 8 of the first set.
And he's finally played a couple of good points. As you can see, 1 of 2 for Clavet, 1 of 1 for Rafter, but the one break is all that's been needed to win sets here. So obviously a huge opportunity now for Rafter. He made a backhand volley, folks.
So now Rafter needs to hold serve 3 more times, and he'll find himself in the round of 16.
Rafter has not had an easy time holding serve. He's only been broken once, but a lot of long, tough games on his serve for him. He's had some love games, but he looks a little more confident suddenly in this third set.
He has now won 9 points in a row.
12 aces for Rafter, and you don't expect Clavet to get many.
Left versus.
Rafter continues to volley solidly as he's done the last couple of games, Clavet's in trouble. He doesn't really have any shots that can hurt Rafter. Not going to hit a lot of winners.
11 straight points won by Rafter. Rafter holds serve at love for the second straight time and for the third time in his last 4 service games. He's up a break, 4-1 in the third.
4 games to 1.
There are many tournaments at the beginning of the year which don't give players a lot of time to prepare for the clay court season. The clay court season comes up soon, and it's very important, especially for the Spaniards, but not too favorable for the Americans. It motivates me to play well and to improve my ranking, but it's good to look ahead and to prepare for the clay. Francisco Clavet is in trouble, down a break. As Rafter continues to steamroll, he's now won 13 straight points.
Well, the streak is broken, but the problem for Clavet is that Rafter has raised the level of his game, and there's no other place for Clavet to go. He really doesn't have more than what we've seen. He hasn't played a bad match. He hasn't played a bad third set. It's just that Rafter suddenly started making volleys. That was a pretty tough call. Looked like it hit the line from that angle. Maybe Clavet can raise the level of his game. He plays a very aggressive point.
14-15.
Coming to the net, closing it off, looking almost Rafter-like.
There have only been 3 service breaks in the entire match, 1 per set. Rafter's got the one in this set. And Clavet holds, but he has only 2 opportunities left to break Rafter.
Well, he's got to hope for a little help again from Rafter. Rafter, very spotty for him at the net today. He's the best volleyer we have out here on the tour. But he hasn't shown it today.
Rafter, a quarterfinalist last week at Indian Wells in the first Master Series event of the season. Defeated Greg Ruzetsky, Arno Di Pascal, and Alex Correia before losing to Pete Sampras.
He really had a good chance to beat Sampras in that quarterfinal. Sampras going on to the final. As you see Rafter, that's a vintage Rafter. That was a tough low volley. He's quit missing those type of volleys now, and I don't see what Clavet's going to be able to do. He's got to have a little help from Rafter. Doesn't put a lot of pace on his returns. He's just getting the back end play. That's the kind of volley Rafter was struggling with all match long. Third set came around and Rafter suddenly found the range. That's a great play from Clavet. You got a good sense of just how good that second serve of Rafter was from that camera angle. Clavet able to somehow get the return down low. Look at that chip. And then he lined up the backhand pass down the line.
Rafter using the ace to bail himself out, and now a point away from the 5-2 lead.
How discouraging for Clavet. He's played 2 nice points to get to 30 all, put some pressure on Rafter's serve. You can see Andre Agassi not under much pressure in his match. 6-1, 4-1 lead on David Prinisil.
Winner of that one will get Tommy Haas in the round of 16. That didn't quite have enough left in the tank to reach that one. So when we come back, Clavet will be serving, and he'll need to hold to extend the match.
New ball, please.
Experience the wonders of nature with ESPN's Photo Safari. Each week, seasoned guides track down the most elusive and dangerous creatures on Earth, forever capturing them on film. Get creative tips from expert photographers on how to improve your own wildlife shots. It's the thrill of the hunt. Photo Safari, only on ESPN.
Join us tomorrow night here on ESPN for our coverage of the NBA. Vince Carter, the great young star for the Toronto Raptors, will take his show to Miami to take on the Heat. Coach Pat Riley's team has won 4 in a row following a big win yesterday over the San Antonio Spurs, the team with the best record in the league. You can join us tomorrow night for all the action right here on ESPN. Toronto currently in 6th place in the NBA's Eastern Conference standings. Miami battling with the New York Knicks for the number 3rd position. Patrick Rafter needs one more game to wrap this up. Can he do it on Francisco Clavet's serve? Almost hit our camera.
Rafter just ran out of room in the back of the court. Would have been able to run this down, but had to go backwards.
for service.
Good tennis. That's the kind of tennis I expected to see in this match. When you have a net rusher like Rafter playing a baseliner, you see a lot of nice little low balls with Rafter up at the net. Rafter showing touch. One of the few times Clavet missed one of those type of shots. He's been doing a tremendous job of hitting little short angles back at Rafter. I love that camera angle because you get a much better sense of the way the ball travels and the amount of movement it takes to play at this level.
And Rafter 2 points for victory. Double match point for the two-time U.S. Open champion.
Rafter has really cleaned up his play here in the third set. Starting to play the way I envisioned him playing this match, putting the ground strokes back in play, waiting for his short ball that you will eventually get against Clavet. But first you have to do a lot of running. Clavet is good at making you move.
Rafter now 2 for 3 on break points in the match. And here's match point number 2.
Gutsy play from Clavet, a man who doesn't come to net often. He does volley pretty well when he gets there, but he's not normally inclined to come to net, and that was a pretty important point to get out of your comfort zone. Match point down. Clavet chips and charges. Rafter misses the pass.
Advantage, Clavet.
Clavet suddenly a point away from holding serve and forcing Rafter to win it on his own serve. Rafter had a couple of match points, and Clavet digs down and wins the next 4 points to hold serve. He's still down a break, and now Rafter, up 5-3, will serve to try to close it out.
Doesn't normally help confidence-wise when you've already squandered a couple of match points. We'll see if Rafter feels a little pressure from having that happen to him just in this last game. Clavet on a mini streak here after being down 15-40 in the last game, as he hit 3 or 4 passing shots in that rally, and finally a nice little angle volley. Rafter has bailed himself out with some aces at big times. He needs a couple big first serves here.
15. Ends Clavet's streak of 5 straight points. This is all Rafter's 5th tournament of the year. Semi-finalists at the Australian, quarterfinalists at Delray Beach and Indian Wells. Lost in the round of 16 at Dubai. Also played Davis Cup with a couple of wins over the Lepentes, Nicholas and Giovanni, and Australia's win over Ecuador.
13-2.
Very big second serve Rafter has. There is almost no difference between his first and second serve. You see the string is about to break in Rafter's racket, so he went to the sideline, put some stringlings in there, those little plastic pieces that go in between the strings, stop the friction from breaking this racket.
Left for service.
Refusing to make things easy for himself in this match. He had that brief streak in the 3rd set where he won those points all in a row, broke serve at love.
Won 13 straight points. That was his 3rd double fault of the match. Now for the 3rd time, Rafter is a point away from wrapping things up, but this time on his own serve.
So that is making Rafter play now. That was a difficult first volley Rafter came up with on the backhand side, one that he's missed all match long. Clavet could count on that backhand return down the line to Rafter's backhand volley.
And that'll do it. So Patrick Rafter, for the 3rd time in his career, has reached the round of 16 here in Miami. Last year he lost in the round of 16 to Andre Agassi. Back in '94 he made it all the way to the semis before losing to Agassi. He beats Francisco Clavet, but he certainly had to work to do it.
Well, he did, and that was a tough match for Patrick Rafter. You normally don't want to expend that much energy this early in the tournament against Francisco Clavet, who's a player who does make you work. You have to beat him. You have to hit winners to beat Clavet. Rafter hit just enough. Didn't play his best tennis, and he's going to have to get a little bit better if he wants to win his next match, because as you can see, his round of 16 opponent, Alex Correia, who they played a very difficult match last week in Indian Wells. Rafter played a far better match than we saw him play today, and it still was 3 sets. Rafter knows he's going to have to improve if he wants to move on.
So Rafter joins Alex Correia and Tommy Haas in the top half of the draw in the round of 16. Those are the 3 matches that are complete today. 5 others either in progress or still to come.
Andre Agassi, I like his chances, leading 6-1, 4-1 last time we checked in.
Going out on a limb again.
Expect him to get to the round of 16.
Gustavo Kirten gets his turn tonight. He is the #1 seed. He will take on Thomas Johansson of Sweden in his 3rd round match. 7 of the 16 seeds have been eliminated, including Dominic Herbati, who lost earlier today to Haas. You can see that Kirten Johansson match tonight right here on ESPN. So Rafter is through to the round of 16, and he will take on Alex Correia following a 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 win over Francisco Clavet. Rafter now 15-4, his match record so far in 2001. For Jimmy Arias, I'm Bob Picozzi. Thanks so much for joining us, and we bid you farewell from Miami. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Night has fallen in South Florida in time for the third round of the Tennis Masters Series event known as the Ericsson Open at the Tennis Center at Crandon Park in Key Biscayne, Florida. And tonight we will get a look at the #1 seed, Gustavo Kirten of Brazil. He will take on Thomas Johansson of Sweden. Already 9 of the 16 seeds have been eliminated. And earlier today, we saw several of them fall. Gustavo Kirten looking for a berth in the round of 16. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Jimmy Arias. Glad you could join us. Jimmy, already several results in from earlier today.
The women, Martina Hingis, the #1 seed. She's through. Anka Huber as well, a 3-set match with Nadia Tosi. Had a minor upset there. And then Serena Williams, a straight-set winner over Kim Clijsters. That's a rematch of last week's final at Indian Wells. Elena Dementieva, a straight-set winner over Arantxa Sanchez Vicari.
And other results from early today, Venus Williams needing a second-set tiebreak to eliminate Tatiana Garbine. Yelena Dukic eliminating Amanda Kutzer, and the #2 seed Lindsay Davenport drops only 4 games en route to a win over Sandrine Testu.
Davenport has not played that well this year so far for her, but she's getting through here. And now someone who's played tremendously well on the men's side, Andre Agassi, the #3 seed, but he's been #1 in the world so far this year. No trouble at all for him with David Prinisil. Tommy Haas, an upset win over Dominic Urbati in 3 sets, and Patrick Rafter had to struggle, but got by the veteran Francisco Clavet in 3 sets.
Top half of the men's draw playing third-round matches today. 8 matches in all, 6 of them are complete. Magnus Norman also eliminated today.
Lucky loser Ivan Lubitschek taking Norman out in straight sets. Some of these top seeds really struggling. Roger Federer beats Mark Philippoussis, another 3-set match. And Alex Corretja defeats Jerome Goldmard in 2 tiebreaks.
Another match in progress, Arnaud Clement versus Carlos Moya. And coming up in the stadium in the night session, the first match will feature the runner-up a year ago and #1 seed this year, Gustavo Kirten. His opponent, Thomas Johansson. And their third round match is straight ahead on ESPN.